for Taiwan!
Oh yes it is, and who knew that a few slouches could so revel in this Far East island nation? But revel we did. From food to fantasy, from biking to boating, from museums to modernity, from tall towers to majestic mountains, and from teas to temples, and yes, Jewish temples too, we were completely taken by all that Taiwan had to offer. So join us on our journey to Taiwan. We began our journey on a flawless EVA Airlines nonstop flight from Los Angeles to Taipei. And suffice it to say, Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, far surpassed our expectations. Take a look at Taipei 101, the second tallest building in the entire world, coming in at 1,667 feet. Now, the moment you enter this behemoth, you are summoned to the Taipei 101 Observatory. But Taipei 101 only offers one way to get to the observatory decks, up, up, and away, at 3,313 feet per second. We are traveling in the world's fastest elevator, moving 84 floors in 37 seconds flat. And at 1,253 feet, the views from the indoor observatory on top of Taipei 101 are nothing short of towering. We then moved up another 2 flights to the 91st floor and stepped onto the outdoor observatory of Taipei 101, a building which was designed to withstand the strongest earthquake of the last 2,500 years.
You know, Brad, standing on the top of Taipei 101, this is probably the closest I'll ever get to Hashem.
But wait a second. This is now the second tallest building in the world. You could go to Dubai, where the tallest building is today.
Nah, I don't see myself going there anytime soon.
Now, not far from Taipei 101, a shopping district that attracts 3 million visitors every single month. You surely have heard about the great shopping throughout Asia. Well, the Ximending district in Taipei does not disappoint. Built in the 1930s, the Ximending district includes a prime pedestrian area where we spent hours roaming through this bustling borough, shopping, people watching. Oh wait, we're people watching ourselves. And while the countless shops are open all day, we're glad that we visited Ximending in the evening to get that full neon-lit experience. Now, while it's always time for Taiwan, time is no object in Taiwan when you can travel on Taiwan's high-speed rail line. Opened in 2007, Taiwan's high-speed rail travels 214 miles north-south along Taiwan's populated west coast at 186 miles per hour. Stated simply, for a journey that would take other land-based travel about 4 hours, Taiwan's high-speed rail moves over 200 miles in about an hour and a half. And this high-speed rail line, with its spacious seating, is cheaper than air flight. Now, we traveled on Taiwan's high-speed rail line to the center of Taiwan to visit the Sun Moon Lake National Scenic Area, which has grown into one of the most popular tourist destinations in all of Asia.
Sun Moon Lake, the name is because the shape. So now we are standing in front of Sun Lake. So you can see the shape is a round. Moon Lake is very like a smile.
For decades, tourists have been flocking to this natural lake, still unmarred by expansive commercial development. Framed by green peaks, pagodas, and misty clouds, its emerald waters, its majestic mountains create vibrant views, beginning at the crack of dawn every morning on top of Golden Dragon Mountain. Because of this mountain's unique geographic location and relatively low elevation above Sun Moon Lake, a sea of clouds creates a spectacular sunrise that attracts a torrent of tourists and flurry of photographers to the mountain peak. What a way to start the day, and at a destination that offers so much.
There is a gondola, cable car.
Offering an eye-popping panoramic view of Sun Moon Lake.
Or we can take the boat around the Sun Moon Lake.
A relaxing voyage indeed.
We can do bicycling around the Sun Moon Lake.
Now that is an understatement. None other than CNN has ranked the bike trails around Sun Moon Lake in the top 5 breathtaking paths in the entire world. Every fall, Taiwan holds its annual Taiwan Cycling Festival on Sun Moon Lake. But what makes this festival unique, the organizers hold 2 separate events, one for the competitive biker and one for families to enjoy. In fact, the king of the mountain, or KOM competition attracts cyclists from all over the world, and for good reason.
KOM 是台湾自行车登山网的一个重量级的一个比赛哈。它是从这个海平面这个0公尺到海拔3275公尺，是一个4个钟头之内要攀高到3000公尺以上。但是沿途的风景非常漂亮，会让你留下这个最美好的回忆。所以在这个骑的时候，虽然觉得好像是地狱般的一个忍受，但是你完成以后，你会觉得好像你到了天堂。
One such competitor, Daniel Carruthers from New Zealand, returning to Taiwan after participating in the Deaf Olympics. Well, let's let Daniel describe his race.
It was fantastic. It was very hard, no kidding. Well, it was beautiful scenery. The road was fantastic. I think the road was the best I've ridden, the best road climb in the world. Like twisting, turning through tunnels and amazing scenery. Beautiful. It was a cracker of a day.
Now, Carruthers was quite pleased with his time, finishing in the top 15% of all the competitors. And the top finishers were equally as effusive about cycling around Sun Moon Lake.
It was a great experience. I wish to come next year again. I hope next year I can bring more people from Thailand to join the challenge.
I'm really happy to come back to Taiwan and celebrate the end of my career in Taiwan.
But that's not the end of our biking adventures in Taiwan. Taiwan not only offers some of the world's top trails for the competitive set, the island offers biking for the leisure rider. And the morning after the KO Challenge, thousands participate in Come Bike Day, a relaxing ride around Sun Moon Lake that entire families can enjoy. Now remember Daniel Carruthers? Well, after riding 4.5 hours as part of the King of the Mountain Challenge, the very next morning, Daniel joined his wife Jennifer for her ride in Come Bike Day. So Jennifer, you're about to start your Come Bike Day. Your husband biked yesterday. It's your turn. How do you feel?
I'm a little bit tired from not getting enough sleep, but I'm excited to be going around Sun Moon Lake again. It's really beautiful here, and I did it 3 years ago.
But Daniel, yesterday you went from sea level to 3,250 meters up a mountain. Aren't your legs just shot?
Yeah, they are. They're shot pretty much. And this morning I could barely get out of bed. And I didn't want to get out of bed.
So will you be able to keep up with Jen?
We'll see. She'll be pretty fast. I was having trouble keeping up with her this morning.
And after the race, we met some North Americans.
I'm from Vancouver. The ride is fabulous.
Just wonderful, and there's just amazing, fantastic. I love it.
C'est merveilleux. C'est propre, très bien organisé. Puis pour la bicyclette, il y a beaucoup de trails.
Simply stated,
Taiwan is a cyclist paradise, and not many people in the world know this. And so when they discover what a beautiful place it is to ride, then more people will come, and it'll be like a cycling destination for many cyclists around the world.
now after enjoying the views lakeside, how about pondering the scenic beauty from on high? We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Angel 2, a member of a Taiwanese Aboriginal tribe. Angel transported us via another example of Taiwanese modernity, a 7-minute grand gondola ride to the mountaintops above Sun Moon Lake. These cable cars reach heights of 325 feet off the ground. Now, once exiting the cable car, be prepared for transport into an earlier time in Taiwan's history. The Formosan Aboriginal Cultural Village offers its guests and educational depictions of the indigenous peoples of the island. So there are 14 original Taiwanese Aboriginal tribes. At the theme park, you represent 10. We're going into one of them, and it's the Taiwan tribe, not your tribe. We're going to visit your tribe soon. Tell us about the Taiwan tribe.
Taiwan tribe, their living area is in southeastern part of Taiwan. Population may be about 90,000. Their society system is based on nobility. So they have king, we say chief. And their living area is very deep inside the mountains. So we can see their traditional house structure is made by the stone.
Let's go. So, Angel, we're inside the chieftain's home, but our first question is, why did we have to duck so low to get in?
Because why we have to do this? We have to lower down our head to show the respect to this family.
And Angel, what is that? What does that smell? It has a very smoky odor to it.
Yeah, the smell is from wood inside this house. Also, there is a way to we have to do every day, keep from all the worms, all the mosquitoes. So we have to burn the leaves or stick inside this house.
So, Angel, Iran, and I are about to participate in a Taiwan diving ritual. What will happen is that three of us will get together, we'll make a joint wish together, then the priest will come in, he'll throw the ball in the air, and then we hope that one of our sticks catches this ball, and if it does, our wish will come true. Hila! Ooh! And after learning about the Taiwan tribe, Angel took us to learn about her native tribe. So Angel, you must be very proud. We're about to enter your native village, the Lukai village. It's hard to say in the Taiwanese dialect, but tell us more about your tribe.
The Gai tribe, which is living in southern part of Taiwan, population now is 11,000. In my tribe, there is some traditional ritual ceremony.
So, Angel, we're about to participate in an ancient traditional Lukai ritual. Tell us about it.
Okay, we are going to have some sweet potato.
I love sweet potato.
But before we having food in traditional time, we have to do the pray to the God and the ancestors. We have to share with them first, and after that we have to do the celebration. We have to dancing, singing, and after all this ritual, we can having food, which is like sweet potato.
It's kind of like the hora.
Okay.
I love sweet potato. Now, the cultural village is not limited to a look back at Taiwan's indigenous people. Nestled inside the village, Amusement Isle, an expansive theme park that, well, get this, Iran and I have been on lots of theme park thrill rides in our lifetimes. But let me tell you, this park had the most extreme roller coaster we have ever experienced. The most intense roller coaster anywhere in the world. But the Maya adventure was not all. Next, we strapped ourselves into the park's gyro drop, a 280-foot free fall that, while scary, provided us with beautiful view, disturbing drop. Yes, the most vibrant views of central Taiwan's countryside. But we were not done with vibrant views. How about a relaxing ride on the sun side of Sun Moon Lake? In the middle of Sun Lake, a small island that holds special significance to some of Taiwan's native inhabitants. Now, in the last decade, it was decided that people could no longer walk on Lalu Island because it is considered holy or sacred to the Sao tribe, and out of respect to the tribe, there are no visitors. Also, beautiful pagodas and Buddhist temples in the mountains off Sun Lake. And behind us is Wenwu Buddhist Temple off Sun Moon Lake, which we'll be visiting when we come back. Welcome back. Nestled on a majestic mountain above Sun Moon Lake, the Wenwu Buddhist Temple. Yo, Iran, get over here. You're not supposed to walk in on the left side of a Buddhist temple. That's like walking in to the tiger's mouth. We walk in on the right side. That's walking in through the dragon's gate.
Good thing you told me.
Walking through this towering temple, we stumbled upon a symbol that looked eerily similar to the Nazi swastika. Upon further inspection, we noticed that this swastika did not tilt like the Germans, and were ultimately informed that the Buddhists have used this symbol to signify auspiciousness and good fortune for centuries. So in a traditional Buddhist temple, we light the incense, and then we walk over toward the main hall, and we bow 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then we turn around and we put the incense in here. Okay, Aran, our visit to the Wenwu Temple is complete, and where do we exit?
We exit from the left through the mouth of the tiger.
Let's go. During our visit to Sun Moon Lake, we stayed at the wondrous Wenwan Resort, a 5-star hotel located on the highest point of the peninsula with 270-degree panoramic views of Sun Moon Lake. The rooms offer the utmost in opulence, and the facilities, well, I thought I had seen it all, but apparently not. I am here with Joyce from the Wenwan Resort on Sun Moon Lake. Joyce, what is behind this door?
It is a 24-karat gold-plated toilet.
And what is this gold-plated toilet worth?
It costs $9,000 US.
Well, I brought my 50-cent newspaper with me from home, hoping I can have some quiet time in there. What do you think?
Yes, enjoy.
Okay. Okay, back to reality. To celebrate King of the Mountain and Kambike Day, an early evening flashy fireworks show on the edge of Sun Moon Lake. Now, 2,000 years ago, the Chinese invented paper. And while modern societies may rely on paper manufactured in large factories, in central Taiwan, the town of Puli has maintained the tradition of producing bona fide handmade paper. Now, the Puli region happens to be uniquely suited to make paper by hand, given its pristine water and native growth of certain species of bamboo and mulberry trees that combine to create the perfect blend of roots and tree bark. So now that we've learned how to make traditional handmade paper, Aran and I are actually going to do it. Let's give it a shot. So after Aran and I formed, designed, pressed, and dried paper, we were ready to mail our masterpieces home to the United States. But guess what? Handmade paper is not just for writing.
We can make the paper by the clock, or the bag, the hat, the clothes, and the shoes. Even we can eat paper.
Did she say eat? Yep, Aran and I got to sample some edible Chinese paper. Pricky ash. It's sweet. It does have kind of earthy flavor to it.
It's great.
A little spicy too. And ginger. I love ginger. I will always love ginger.
Wow.
This is so gingery. I love it. It's like matzah. It's like Chinese matzah. But we're not done with our time travel yet. For much of the 20th century, Taiwan produced, marketed, and exported serious sums of salt harvested from solar salt fields. But like paper, with the advent of modern technology, salt production from these fields became inefficient. And in 2002, more than 2 centuries of salt production in Taiwan came to an end. But given the deep history of salt drying in Taiwan, Taiwan's southwest coast National Scenic Area transformed its salt fields into a cultural destination.
Now they are just for tourists, and tourists here can make salt themselves.
So we can go mine for salt ourselves?
Of course, let's go.
Let's go. So Aran and I jumped back in time and marched right on to the salt fields, breaking up salt layers, pushing the salt onto the salt mounds. And then we carried the harvested salt in traditional bamboo baskets over our necks and shoulders. I don't know, Aran. I mean, those salt bamboo carriers kind of hurt my neck. How about yours?
We were carrying 25 kilos, but Mr. Chu told me that they usually do 60 kilos every time that they carry the salt.
Outdone yet again. But our day was not over. While we may not have had a chance to bike on Kambike Day, Judy took us on an unbelievable bike ride through this national scenic area, along shoals and lagoons, along river estuaries and wetlands, past the salt fields and ending at Bayman Lagoon. And what a way to end the day.
北门西湖在整个台湾来讲是第2大西湖。那在我们傍晚时分的时候，你来到这里可以看到我们的最美的夕阳。那这一段时间刚好是在
Yes, you can. And this sunset is made all the more stunning by flocks of whiskered terns. 10 to 20,000 of these beautiful birds hunt for fish during the day, but return to the lagoon at dusk and put on an aerial show of spirals, dips, and dives few bird watchers have ever seen. But we're not done with vibrant views. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Traveling through Taiwan, we were constantly treated to spectacular scenery. We are at the tip of Longdong Bay, which means Dragon Cave Bay in English, and on this side you will see the East China Sea. On this side, the Pacific Ocean. And not far from this bay, we took another journey back in time on our visit to Jiaofen's Gold Mine Mountain and its Gold Museum. Taking a nostalgic look back, the museum transports you on a journey of the gold mining culture of days gone by.
Now, Brad, you grew up in California around the gold rush.
Not around the gold rush. I studied the gold rush.
Right, you studied the gold rush, so you've probably panned for gold before.
I have panned for gold before, but I gotta tell you, I never expected to pan for gold in Taiwan. I had no idea there was gold in the hills of Taiwan. So, Aran, why don't you do it? You're a New Yorker. I want to hear what you think.
It's my first time.
But this museum does not focus exclusively on the past. This gold brick is 220 kilograms, which is 484 pounds, which is worth 12 million US dollars. Now that is a lot of gold.
It's the treasure of the museum. By the time it was made, it was the biggest brick in the whole world.
Currently, this gold brick is the second biggest in the world, but no matter. Now, not far from the Gold Museum, nestled inside Gold Mountain, rests Jiaofen, whose covered downtown district was built right into this coastal mountain. And at the end of this one-of-a-kind commercial center, the historic Ame Tea House. There, we quickly learned about the social significance of tea in Taiwan.
The Taiwanese people, the Chinese people, they like to sit down and have the tea and enjoying the tea and keep talking slowly and watching the nice view.
And what a wonderful way to relax, sipping tea while enjoying the vistas of Gold Mountain. On this day, we tried High Mountain Green Oolong Tea. But first,
when you have the tea, you should have something to eat before.
So we noshed on peanuts, sweet and sour plums, and green pea cakes. I like the flakiness of it.
Feels like halva.
It feels like halva, which is an Israeli candy. That's right, it does. Now, in America, people will add sugar or sweeteners to tea. I wish you could see his eyes. They just went up oh so slightly, and I knew that it was a complete shanda or shame. It was blasphemous. I even suggested as such. Okay, let's just let this one slide. It's tea time.
Very, very good. Very delicate and minty.
So what makes tea from Taiwan so tasty? Well, due to the island nation's fertile soil, mild climate, and suitable rainfall, Taiwan is able to grow some of the most well-crafted teas around the globe. And we had the opportunity to learn just how that tea is produced from start to finish. At the Hugo Assam Tea Farm in central Taiwan, we hiked up a surprisingly small mountain to the tea groves.
这个叫做茶树，这个茶树的品种它叫台茶18号。台茶18号它最特别的，第二个，它做好的茶，它泡出来，它有一个肉桂薄荷香。
Well, we couldn't take Steve's word for it. We had to go back to finish the tea ourselves. So once the tea leaves are harvested and wilted, the rolling process begins. And once the kneading is done, the tea is placed on trays and prepared for drying in an oven. How long will it be in here?
About 30 minutes.
30?
Yeah.
30 minutes in this oven. We'll see what happens when we're done. 30 minutes later, the tea is dried and ready for packaging. And of course, we had to take the time to taste the fruits of our labor at the Hugo Assam Tea Farm. I like this one. Yeah, it's got a very smooth finish, if I may say. Now, Hugo Assam was not our last stop on our tea tasting tour of Taiwan. In Taipei, we visited Wang Tea, a family business in operation since 1890. And we learned that in the early days,
like back to about 40 or 50 years ago, like the tea shop is like the information center. So people can change their information right here. So the boss of the tea shop has more, gossip.
the owner of the tea shop was basically the local Yenta.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means, Yenta?
That's true.
And Jason Wen, the great-grandson of the Yenta, I mean the founder, gave us quite a lesson on the several types of teas.
So green tea is really light, just a little bit sweet. Then comes to oolong tea. The aftertaste is better than the baozhong tea that has the fruity flavor, oriental beauty, that smells really like black tea and tastes sweeter than the black tea. And black tea is a little bit bitter and it has more astringent in that.
And of course, we couldn't leave Jason's establishment without trying some of his signature tea. And on this day, Jason offered us his special, unique blend of Pushang tea.
Ancient Chinese secret.
I just keep the secret.
And Jason also provided us with some words of wisdom about the proper way to consume Chinese or Taiwanese tea.
It's feature, and that has the sweetness and has flora. So if we add the sugar, add the milk, that would just cover the taste. That would be a waste.
So now that's two Taiwanese tea experts that say no sugar in tea. Okay, we got it. So, hungry for some Chinese food? We'll stand by. We'll be right back. Now let's face it, if you are watching this program on this network, you love Chinese food. On how many Sundays do you have Chinese food for dinner? And I bet you had Chinese food on Christmas last year, admit it. But wait, before we dive into that Chinese food buffet that Taiwan has to offer, we take you to an Israeli restaurant in Taiwan. Yep, in the heart of Tainan, Taiwan's second largest city, we found the restaurant Ima.
So I'm here with my new buddy Nisim, born in Haifa. I'm born in Tel Aviv. Tell me, Nisim, what is a guy from Haifa doing here in Thailand?
That's a good question. You know, sometimes life taking you to places you cannot imagine. When I arrived to Taiwan the first time, I knew I'm not going to leave this place. I just knew it. Like, people are wonderful here. People are so friendly. Especially Tainan, this city you visit today, have something very magical. It's really remind us home.
Tell me a little bit about Ima, the bakery.
Ima, of course, you know, guys. It's mother in Hebrew. I don't need to tell you, yeah. But when I came to Taiwan, it was like five and a half years ago. I found out there is no bread in Taiwan. Like there are thousands of bakery, but not real bread. And I missed, you know, as you know, guys. I don't need to say more. Like, our mothers used to bake every Friday. I was missing my babka, I was missing my challah, I was missing the Jewish bread for Shabbat. I miss this food. So I decided to bring it to Taiwan.
Now, Nassim descends from Greek, Spanish, and Moroccan Jews. So naturally, we had to ask,
do you bring Sephardic flavors, or is it more of an Ashkenazi?
It's 99% Sephardi.
Sephardi.
Only Rachel.
We don't forget Ashkenaz because our soup is Ashkenaz.
And Ima has struck a chord with some of the locals.
So John, tell me, what do you think about the Ima Bakery?
I think Ima Bakery is the best bakery in southern Taiwan. Here you get really crisp, nice flavors, very wide differentiation of styles. It's really good.
So why is Ima Bakery so revered?
The pita we make is handmade pita. He's making pita like an Arab Israeli from Akko. And I say this with all the respect I can have.
So once it was time to eat, did we eat? From falafel and hummus to homemade bagels, Ima has something for everyone. Now, after our big Israeli meal in the middle of Taiwan, we wisely spent some time with a Tai Chi master in this historic city of Tainan. Tai Chi is an ancient Chinese tradition that today is practiced as a graceful form of exercise. It involves a series of movements performed in a slow, focused manner and accompanied by deep breathing. Now, the Tai Chi master somehow convinced Iran and me to give Tai Chi a shot. Well, let's just say Tai Chi is not as easy as it looks.
Did you hear that? The master said I was a natural.
Did he say anything about me?
Not so much.
Well, that wore us out. Time for another meal, a Chinese one. And guess what? Taiwan has really, really good Chinese food. I mean, out of this world tasty, which means it's eating time. Now, for the adventurous types, Taiwan has plenty of delicious delicacies to try, especially at the open-air markets. I'm standing on Old Street in Shoufen City. It's now called New Taipei City, and this literally was the downtown area for the gold miners who found gold in the Taiwanese mountains in the 1890s and mined them throughout the 20th century and beyond. Iran, you're Israeli, you've lived in Tel Aviv, you've lived in that country. Tell me this street does not remind you of the old city in Jerusalem just with Asian characters.
100%, but honestly, this place is happening. It's a lot of things going on, a lot of people.
Exactly, such as those delicious delicacies I was talking about. I'll try anything. I have no idea what this is. It's some type of nut. I do know this is wasabi flavored peanut. See the wasabi coats the peanut? I love wasabi, I love peanuts. Really good. This is a charcoal covered peanut. I don't know how they cover a peanut with charcoal, but tastes great. Iran, look what I found, chicken feet.
Are you ready to taste that, mister? I'll try anything.
Not a chance. But we did get even more daring. At the bustling Keelong night market outside of Taipei, famous for its wide selection of food, snacks, delicacies, and desserts. We start with delicacies. So Iran and I have been walking around the Keelong night market all night, and there have been some wafting odors like I have never smelled in my entire life. If you like brie cheese, you will love stinky tofu. Iran, before we taste it, please describe the odor for us.
The only thing I can say is that the stench is real.
It is no joke. Let's give it a shot. Now, I'm told, as Iran chews on it, that the smell is from the fermentation process. Start going. But friends, this smell, I wish you could be here. It is so severe. Is that a fair word?
Very fair.
You're
I'm
stalling.
I'm waiting for you.
No, you're stalling. You need to start, and I can keep talking.
Well, they say the stinkier the tofu, the better the taste. And this is some stinky tofu.
I will say, once you get it in the mouth and past the nose, the taste is very, very good. Okay, after the stinky tofu, time for dessert. I love all things peanut butter. I love shaved ice. And here in Taiwan, they have peanut butter shaved ice. What more could I ask for? It's perfect. Now, back to Taipei, we went to what I think have to be classified as some of the most appetizing eateries in all of Taiwan. Let's start with Ding Tai Fung, which has been ranked among the top 10 restaurants in the world. And if you love Chinese dumplings, and I know you do, you must visit Din Tai Fung. You must! And you must eat dumplings the proper way if you really, truly want to enjoy the many different flavors offered in these pockets of pablum.
The best ratio for dumplings, we suggest 1 ratio of soy sauce, 3 ratio of vinegar. And then we will put the soy sauce first.
And you're putting it on ginger, is that right?
Yes, on ginger. So we use the chopstick to pick on the tip of the dumplings. And then you can see, while you're doing this, you can see the juices inside. Yes. And we put on the spoon and use the chopstick to poke the hole, let the broth come out.
This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
Yes, because it's really hot. Yes. And then, Brad, can you help me to take a sip of the broth?
It is so flavorful. It is so tasty. I want to eat this. But we're not done yet.
Yes, not done yet. We put some ginger on the dumplings. You love the ginger, right? Then you can put everything in your mouth.
I'm living for this moment. I've died and gone to heaven. So what's their trick? Well, after suiting up, Karen took Iran into the kitchen for a little sneak peek, where we witnessed each step of the process, from rolling, to filling, to pinching, to steaming.
So what's the secret recipe? What makes these dumplings so special?
Because our dumpling skin is very thin and the filling is very juicy. And the most difficult part, of course, that they measure every step while they're doing this.
And as if that meal did not spoil us enough, we enjoyed a brunch like none other at the Grand Hotel of Taipei. And who amongst us does not enjoy brunch? We ate dumplings, and talk about dessert, forget about it. I know how much you're loving your green tea, so I first got us this green tea layer cake. Give it a shot.
I don't think I'm going to save you any.
But the Grand Hotel is known for much more than its delicious buffet. In addition to its award-winning architecture, throughout the decades, the Grand Hotel has been a witness to history. And this very desk was used by President Chiang Kai-shek when he traveled to the south of Taiwan and stayed at the Grand Hotel in Kaohsiung. So Janet, we are in one of the basements at the Grand Hotel, and behind me is a slide. Clearly, it's not a slide at a pool. It's in a basement. So why is it that there is this slide in a basement at the Grand Hotel?
For Chiang Kai-shek and all the VIP guests, they can when they have some danger, they can use this slide to very quickly to go out of the hotel and go to outside. To the end of the slide is the park.
So in other words, if there was an attack from China on Taiwan, the guests would get on this slide down about 60 feet and escape into the park. And not surprisingly, Taipei is filled with other historical sites and magnificent museums that students of Asia will surely appreciate, such as the Memorial Hall honoring Dr. Sun Yat-sen, where we viewed the changing of the guard. And at the National Palace Museum in Taipei, we gazed at some of the most priceless artifacts in Chinese history.
The oldest item in the museum would be earrings made of jade. It could be dates back to, I would say, 7,000 years ago.
Now, how about this? The museum sent 2 small cups from the 1400s to the U.S. to commemorate the 500th anniversary of the Christopher Columbus voyage.
For one couple, a pair, 2 chicken cups, the insurance price would be $3.8 million US.
But how did Taiwan come to house the finest of Chinese art and artifacts rather than mainland China?
And in 1949, when Chiang Kai-shek was defeated by Mao Zedong when he came to Taiwan, he brought the best part of the whole imperial collection, around 4,000 boxes, over 600,000 items.
And the museum's most popular piece, the jade cabbage, dating from the 19th century.
Many visitors describe the cabbage in our museums as Mona Lisa.
Now, for students of the 20th century, you won't want to miss the National Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Park. Also in Taipei, its hall includes some artifacts that will surely send you back to the Cold War era. And it's punctuated by a towering bronze statue of Chiang Kai-shek, one of the world's most enduring political leaders of the 20th century. Now, you've already met Nassim, so you know that Taiwan has some Jewish presence. Well, when we come back, you will surely be amazed by the tribute one Taiwanese community has paid to the Jewish people. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, during our visit, we continued to marvel in Taiwan's tributes to its elders as we reveled in the towering temples of Tainan. But it's hard to deny that we were entirely overcome with emotion when we went to the Taiwan Holocaust Museum in the heart of Tainan. Called the smallest Holocaust museum in the world, this institution is operated with such heart. Our visit to Taiwan would not have been complete without it. Pastor Alex Cho of the Chelu Kwan Christian Church in Tainan founded the Taiwan Holocaust Museum.
I want to express this kind of the concept to the Christian. We need to change. We need to treat the Jewish in fair. They are not as we've been told or we've been taught. They are friendly. They are wisely. They are honest.
And he clearly thought out the mission behind the museum, whose target audience is the Taiwanese people, but remains accessible to all visitors.
We let the visitor understand is we kill the Jewish because all the ideology is come out from our ancestors. It's not happen overnight. We don't want the visitor to come up here only sad or crying. You know, we want to come here, let them learn about the Holocaust. And after that, we want to educate them. We need to do something to avoid this event to happen again.
But do the Taiwanese visitors who come here, do they even know about the Holocaust? Have they heard about the Holocaust?
Actually, I would say 60% of the visitors, they doesn't know about the Holocaust.
Which makes the world's smallest Holocaust museum all the more valuable and touching. Now, the pastor meticulously designed the museum so that as visitors walk through each room, they engage in an emotional yet enlightening journey. From the rise of Adolf Hitler and his Nazi Party, to the proliferation of institutionalized anti-Semitism in Germany, to the creation of the concentration camps, and ultimately through the implementation of the final solution. Now, as our time at the museum came to a close, the pastor and his congregants expressed their genuine gratitude for our visit. In fact, the pastor's wife was literally brought to tears when we thanked the church and its members for their hospitality. Incredibly moving. So after visiting the Taiwan Holocaust Museum, you might yearn for some spiritual support. And sure enough, Taiwan boasts two celebrated rabbis, each special in his own way. Based at the Sheraton Hotel in Taipei, the community has been blessed by Rabbi Ephraim Einhorn, who has held Friday night services in Taiwan since 1975.
We're very grateful that Dr. Einhorn has been here for most of the time that I've resided here. So with his help, we've been able to provide the essence of a Jewish life for people like me who are resident here, as well as the many visitors who come through doing business, young people who come to study Chinese language, maybe here for 6 months or a year.
And how about this? Dawn's nephew, Dan Shapiro, has served as none other than the United States ambassador to the State of Israel. Not bad. And how about this? For lovers of Judaica,
we have here in this room one of the finest collections of Jewish treasures in the world.
This tome, a Yom Kippur prayer book from Vienna, dated 1793. Or this Talmud from the Ukraine, dated 1814. Or arguably the most magnificent masterpiece in the rabbi's collection, a Barcelona Haggadah which predates the Spanish Inquisition of 1492. Now, a few years back, the Chabad movement brought a rabbi and his young family to Taiwan.
Salam from Taiwan.
Yes, Taiwan, a country of 23 million, may only have 400 Jews living in it. Still,
although we have a small community, but it's a very unique community, which makes it very, very special. We don't have so many people, but the people that are here we are together and we are making festivals and holidays and events together, and it's beautiful.
Our mission is basically to be here as as a place for all the Jewish people, be that travelers or residents or students. Everybody should have a warm place to come and to experience Jewish tradition and culture and services.
And when the Tabib family relocated to Taiwan, they could not imagine the Taipei Jewish Center without a Torah. So
it was an amazing celebration because the people walked at the streets with the Torah, and we had this beautiful chuppah on top of it, and we brought in, my brother-in-law from Israel brought in those drums, the special drums, like a march, like an army march. It was definitely an event that will remain in our memory.
As will our trip to Taiwan. From food to fantasy, from biking to boating, from museums to modernity, from tall towers to majestic mountains, and from tea to temples, and yes, Jewish temples too, we were completely taken by all that Taiwan had to offer. Without a doubt,
It's time for Taiwan!